Dorothy here with Done by Dorothy. We are here today. We created our faux postage stamps in our last video, and we're going to use those today. So let's get started. So again, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Information will be in the description box below. There will be a info card at the top at some point that will link to the playlist for the Mira nature journals, which is what we're working on now. You know, gearing down because we're getting close or nearer to the end. So let's get started. Today we are going to do faux postcards. We are going to create our own postcards. So this, I just added the solid sort of collaged back because I thought that was sort of cute and sort of gave it a little bit of pop of color. And so I wanted to use, this was the, yes Kim, this was the Oops part of the Oops printable where I was printing, I did part of it wrong. So we will do a couple different types of this today. So this is the back and this is what our front looks like. And yes, we are going to do all of this together today. So, without further ado, let's get started. Just trying to see what I did with my ruler though, because I had it and I just looked for it to use and I can't find it. It's okay. Ah, I found it. Okay, so let's get started. So, that's what we're going to create. So we need to work with our postcards. So we are going to use, that's a folded one, we are going to use a 4x6 index card. And you can do this one of two ways. You can put the lined side on the back if you want to, or you can flip it over, and I sort of like this. I mean, obviously this side I'm using this because I love the way that looks. And most of mine, it seems like this one I would use the line side. I would just pick, I sort of pick the one that I like the edge to look to the best, because it really doesn't matter because we're going to create lines and all that on there. So it's not going to matter. So we are going to find just our, oh my. So we have different pages. First thing I'm going to do to make this a little bit easier on myself is I'm going to trim the white edging off, because my printer, for whatever reason, did not print this borderless. I don't know if sometimes I print and I don't hit the right, I didn't hit the right setting. Because mine has custom settings that, you know, you can add or whatever. So these postcards are going to be sort of bulky. This is cardstock. You don't have to use cardstock. We're going to do, you know, a couple different versions of this, so you can sort of see what the different ones look like. So the first one I'm going to do is going to be with this though. So I already did one like this, so I think I'm going to do one over here with my salamander and my mushroom, because I dig that little salamander, if you guys haven't noticed yet. So first thing I'm going to do is easy money. I'm just going to glue this to my cardstock and then we'll trim it out. And I'm just going to glue it down here in the corner so I don't have to waste as much. Just sort of line it up to the outside edge and glue it down. And grab my bone folder and burnish it down. Okay. I'm going to go ahead while I have this here and glue the next one down. Oh yeah, digging those dark coffee spots on there. So I hope you guys are enjoying the Mirabella Nature Journal. Of course, you know, we're working on getting close to the end. We have multiple little videos left, but not a massive amount. We're working on it. Of course, I was down for 4 days, and I apologize for that. I know a lot of you guys were working on it and was probably not happy that I didn't do it, and again, sorry, I am getting my voice almost completely back to normal, which I am so grateful for. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and trim these out now, and I can keep this paper for any kind of scrap or whatever. The extra little added. I could keep it and trim things out and use to make more faux postage stamps if I wanted to. Okay, really fast. If you put your lined side up, or even either way, at this point you could glue this like that and fold this and have a booklet with inserts on the inside that you could write on, or you could put coffee dye paper. So I mean, there is different alternatives there. I'm going to trim this out though, because we're going to do some postcards. Okay, let me put my little stopper in here. Let me grab a drink of my tea because my voice is trying to hold its own. And if anybody asks, because somebody asked the other day, I drink Constant Comment tea. It's a Bigelow tea. I love it. It's my favorite. It actually is my favorite tea. Okay, so I'm going to ink up the outside edges here. And see, that's just cute, just as a collaged back. Especially if, like, you paperclip this on a page that's like one of our stenciled pages, or you know, one of the pages we stamped on that doesn't necessarily have color on it. That would give it just a nice pop of color. So ink the outside edges, and I'm going to go ahead and do 2 of these at a time. We're doing well, I have to get one more card because we're actually, oh yeah, I have to get one more card. I'll grab it in a minute, because we're actually going to do 3 different versions using this, so you can see. And so we've got those inked up. So we're going to turn it over, and here's where the fun starts. This is a fine liner, and it's a brush nib on the end. You can find these just about any brand. You can find a brush tip at the end. If you don't have a brush tip, you can use a Sharpie. Use you know, a fine line paintbrush. You know, you could use anything like that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to find an approximate, you know, and then there is no rhyme or reason to this, so you literally can make this go the way you want to. So I'm just gonna come in, not quite all, I'm not gonna go all the way to the edge. I'm gonna come in maybe, oh, I don't know, 1/4 inch, and I'm just gonna draw a line across till I'm about 1/4 inch away. Okay, and draw a line. Then I'm gonna line this up the best I can, and again, you can move this around. Okay, let's say we want to put this one over here. We'll put it over here. Then I'm just gonna grab that line and pull it down. And we'll get decorative here in a minute. So maybe I want to do little curly cues over here. really can do any kind of decorative, whatever you want. Okay, then I always turn mine sideways this way because I just think it's easier. And I grab a spot, I just make sure that my ruler's straight, and then I'm just gonna randomly draw a line. Okay, then I move my ruler to the right hand side because I think it's easier. And I just sort of match it up and draw a line again. And these don't have to be exact. I don't space them exact because I sort of want them to have that random homemade look. You know, you can, you know, measure them out, draw them with a pencil, you know, and do each individual one exactly how you want to. I draw some of mine smaller, some of mine larger. I just don't stress about it because that's just me. Okay. So I just draw my lines like that. Now, at this point, I always grab my ink after I draw my lines because it's sort of going to give you a sort of a vision of what it's going to look like. And like I said, I'm going to do a second one of these, so you will be able to, we'll do the other one so you will be able to see the steps again just in case. But I mean, it's pretty simple. It's pretty basic. It doesn't take a whole lot. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. I just sort of ink that up and give it, and I sort of hit the corners a little heavy. Like, you know, it's been through some wear where it's going through the mail. Okay, then I bring in my little pen. Now this depends on you and, you know, what you do. So I know, like, the middle of my index card, because this is a 7, is at 3.5. Oops, yeah, sorry, this is 6. It's at 3. I was looking at that going, I thought that's not right. I thought this was a smaller. So you know, I can judge my line is just a little bit left to the middle, so I know my middle's here. So then I'll just come over here and with my pen, well, this is the marker, then I'll just write the word postcard, just like most postcards have, and I just write it in all caps because I think it sort of makes it looks more like a postcard. So we pretty much created our faux postcard back there. Now, the fun part, we need to put our stamp on it. So I think I'm actually, do I want to do my snail? What do I want to do? Do I want to do the little pansy? Yeah, I like it. Okay, so then I'm just going to grab my faux stamp, run my glue on the back, and then I just take it all the way to the top corner. I don't worry if I cover stuff up, but I try to always leave, like if I have this here, I leave just a teeny tiny bit sticking out on the side, so it has that appearance, so you know it was a completed underneath, if that makes sense. Burnish it down really good with my finger, or you can use your bone folder, whichever you want. So there's the front of our postcard, right? Looks good, right? And there's the back. And it's, so if you don't have postcards, you can create any kind you want. So you could use, and if you have, excuse me, if you have journal pages, you can print your journal pages out at like the 5x7 size and just sort of center your card where you want it to be. I'll try to show you, I'll show you in a second what I mean. So yeah, so we just created our postcard. So let me find a journal page. I may have to, let me just grab one of our signatures so we can use it. Okay, so this is one of our signatures. So we know once you cut down your page, this is what it looks like. Okay, so say we're going to, let's not use that one because it's pretty plain. Let's find one that's really decorative that we like. It's got some pretty design. Okay, let's do the apple. Okay, say we know we really like this, right? Well, you can tell that it's not wide enough. But say you want the apple and the rose, you can print out your page, you know, figure out, line up where you want your card to be, put it on there, trace around your page, cut that excess page off, and you're not losing this because you can use this, you know, for ephemera and that type of thing, or, you know, this would make a belly band. You know, this is, you could use for whatever. You can actually sew it to your index card if you would rather sew instead of gluing. But you can tell, like I would line up and try to get all of my apple in there. So I'm going to, let me take these cards and just sort of try to block so you can see what would be left. That would be there. That would be there. And let's just put this here to cover that. Then we'll slide this out. So this would basically be your postcard. So you literally can turn anything, magazine pages, you know, there's a million things you can do. So, you know, there's another idea. So you can make postcards to match anything you're using. You know, use Edith Holden, Janet Marsh's Nature Diary. You know, there's a ton of different things that you can use. So, okay, get this going again. This is already turned over, so I'm just going to take these lines and use them to my benefit. So, and I'm not even really going to measure. I'm just going to estimate and say I want to put circles at the end of this one. Just circles. And you don't have to put anything like that. That's just, okay. And say this time I want to put it over here. Well, let's do this over this way too. Let's just create circles on both sides. Make these a little bigger. And, you know, like I said, you can sort of customize this the way you want. If you don't want the circles on there, then you don't have to do that. Okay, so I want to put my lines over here. Well, this already has lines on it. Well, since this is the side where I'm going to put my stamp and stuff, I could literally do every single line of this. And again, if you don't want to use the black, you could use any color marker. I mean, Sharpies come in a million different colors. You know, a lot of different. Or if you just want to leave it blank, maybe you want to draw something on there, then you can leave it blank. So, I mean, you know, you're not limited. So this is going to give you a ton of journaling space. Plus, if you've coffee dyed on the index cards that have the lines on them, you know, they sort of fade. And it's really hard to tell where the lines are at. So, you know, there you've created your lines. Let's go ahead and write our postcard up here. Maybe I'm going to put postcard over here this time. Because there is no wrong reason. You literally can do it however you want. So, since I have my lines over here, maybe I want to do a really large stamp over here this time. So let's do our big mushroom. So, there we have our lines and you have your postcard that way. So, I mean, you literally, I tend to, this is just me, I tend to stick to this because I like sort of the more Here's another one that I did. You know, I tend to like that sort of postcard. These look more like traditional postcards, but you're not limited to just what it is traditionally. You can literally put, you know, whatever you want. So now I need to go around and ink because I forgot to ink this side. And again, I'm going to darken my corners because to me that's the part that would get the wear and tear. So, you know, that's going to be your more inky stained areas. So there we go. So let's move on. We're going to do some of our onion paper. Maybe let me hold on, let me think. I don't want to use my onion paper, I want to use my typing paper. Yes. Okay, so I have this strip here with the caterpillar. So I'm going to cut this off at the line, well, in between his tail here because I'll use him for something else. Okay, excuse me, my voice is getting rough. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cover this whole card with glue. And I'm just going to line the bottom up and go it on there to the best of my ability. Hopefully straight and not crooked like I just did. Okay, I'm going to put some nice helping of glue up here. Sure it's a little extra thick. And I'm going to come back through with, where did it go? I have my tea stained ribbon. And put that on there, and I'm not even going to worry about it right now. I'm just going to clip it off right there. I'm going to let this set for a little bit. This is just a little lower than what I wanted it to be, but it's okay. It won't show. By the time we ink, nobody will even know. So I just put that on there. So I'm going to flip my card over, and then I'm just going to trim around the edges of my postcard. And you'll find, you know, the more often you do this, the easier it'll get. And you'll just fly through them. But, I mean, a lot of times people are like, well, I don't have postcards, or, you know, and sometimes they're not easy to find. So again, that was just the typing paper and a piece of ribbon across the top. I mean, there's not a lot to that. But I'm trying to, you know, sort of cover. And I'm going to go through and ink this edge up right across the lace and all. Ink it up really good. So there's the front of that, and it's got a little bit of lace across the top, which is cute, you know, just to throw in as an insert. So this has the lines on it, so I'm just going to use that line and use it as my guide. I'm going to go ahead and write my postcard sort of towards the center. And you'll see how, you know, the more often you do it, the easier it gets. And I'm just gonna like I said, I'm a little bit more traditional, so I like the regular. I was just trying to show you different alternatives. I'm going to move it up a little bit and just, and I usually do like doing, you know, like 3 or 4 lines, maybe 5. And this is a little bit easier because, you know, and I don't even worry about, to me that's fine. I mean, they're not exactly straight, but as far as, you know, the width isn't exactly even. So it's nice and rectangular. I think I'm going to use my snail. Ooh, I don't know. Maybe I want to use my frog. Yep, let's use the frog. So we're going to glue the frog on there. And again, there we go. See, we've got another postcard. Okay, let's keep moving. Let's see. Have this strip here. How do I want to do this one? Ooh. Over here I have I have my vellum. I'm trying to decide how I want to do my vellum. I do think I will. Okay. So again, that's kind of with a little edge, a clear edge around the outside edge. It drives me crazy. I think it does it just so it drives me crazy. I'll go ahead and trim this up, and I'll do, when I do this, I'll do 2 of them. And that's what I usually try to do is, you know, 2 types of each one. Okay. So, let's flip this over. There's 2 cards here, so I'll just do them. Top to bottom. I'm going to actually do this so the lines show through. Let's see if it does. It'll sort of give me just a solid color back, not so much a spotty like the others, so that way it'll make it look a little bit different. And let me push this up here. Good enough for government work. So, again, let's see. Yeah, I think I'll do one where the lines show through. Yeah, I'll do it where the lines show through. And I like to glue 2 of them at a time. That's just me. trim this down now. So all those little scrappy pieces of paper we had are coming in handy now, aren't they, huh? Okay. Trim the edge here, just where my human error glued it on crooked. Again, apologize for my voice. So, you know, you guys, let me know what you think about the, you know, the postcards. I mean, I know a lot of times, I know this is pretty basic, but you can sit down, you know, on a weekend, you know, when you pretty much have, maybe you have nothing to do, you know, it's snowing cold and it's nasty because that's what kind of weather we have right now. And I'm going to burnish this down a bit. And, you know, you can sit down and, you know, do a whole variety of postcards. I mean, if you're doing a little kids journal, you could use like little golden book pages would be really cute. If you're doing a cooking, you could put, you know, pictures of food, or, you know, you could even, you know, do the front of your recipe cards like this. You know, if you had a certain theme, if you had like 1950s diner style, you know, you could have a, you know, a picture of like the old diners with the black and white diners or whatever, with all that. Did I? Yeah. Nope, I did not. That's what I was gonna say. I didn't ink up around this. So they're thinking I didn't do it. So, I mean, you know, you can do these and have a nice, you know, big stack, and it's not just like buying a regular postcard. It actually has a little bit of like grip to it, I guess is the word. Okay, let's draw a line. I'm sure you guys are bored with watching me do this by now. And I mean, you can change it up as much as you want if you don't want to. I mean, so you see how much faster it gets, you know, the more you do it. I'm sorry I got really quiet on you guys there without. Let me go ahead and ink the edges so I don't forget. I didn't mean to just disappear on you and not talk. I was trying to draw those in straight. I know, sometimes crazy. So, I mean, you can, and we'll do some doctoring up on these in a minute. What do we want to use? We got some cuties here. Let's use the snake on this one. I think that'll be, no, I don't want to use that because it's, use our snail. But I mean, there's tons of alternatives with these. There you go. And then maybe, you know, we want to add a little trim. You know, we want to add a little lace to it just to add a little something. so it's not all goofy. And just some trim for edges. I do want to ink up the edges of my lace because obviously that part's going to get dirty if it sits over time. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to fussy cut this, which is going to be fun with these big old whiskers. Instead of my little bitty, I like using my, you know, either using cutter bees or like the little Tim Holtz titaniums work really well too. Yeah, because they're a lot smaller. Okay, let me ink him up here. I guess it's a him, it may be a her, I don't know, it's a moth. So it's whatever it is. Okay, and then a nice helping of glue there because you see it will stick. And hold it down for a minute. There we go. So that one's even got a trim up the little edges a little bit. So it even has the little butterfly sort of, yeah, three-dimensional hanging off of it. So that'll look really cute in a pocket. Okay, so, and we already inked up the back, so that one's good to go. Yay. Okay. So we're going to do this one. This one we're going to do a little bit different. Well, let's get the back done and then we'll go to the front. Okay, so I'm just, and yeah, as you can tell, I just sort of randomly throw it on there, and every time it looks different. I don't really measure, I just throw it on there. So, hope everybody's staying warm. It's winter time, so places are really cold. I know I've seen, I think it was Tim, actually. It was talking about how cold it was in Georgia, and it's like crazy. I'm like, crazy weather for Georgia. And you expect that in Indiana, and, you know, there's places like that, but and again, you know, you can change this up. You could use calligraphy. You know, decorate it however you want. Let's see, what stamp do we want? I think we'll just use this little one that's got the flowers and little beans on it. There's a little pop of color on it. Okie. So I have that there. Okay, so say I want to do something a little bit different. So, let me see. I'm going to take another larger index card. And I've already folded it in half, so I'm just going to cut it in half. And I'm going to take my scrap little piece of paper over here. I'm going to put glue on here, and I know it's only going to go so far down, so I'm just going to sort of guesstimate, because I can always, with my little precision tip, can always get up underneath there to glue if I need to. So let me move this to the side. So I'm just going to measure this up and throw it on there. Throw this on there. Let me. Okay, so I'm just going to trim the bottom off here. Flip this over. Trim this off. Put that to the side. Grab my ink. I'm going to. You know what? Hold on just a second. Let me grab my corner rounder. I'm going to round my two bottom corners. No ink around the outside. So I'm actually going to glue around the outside edges here. I'm just going to sort of glue it down, leaving a small edge. You know, just that teeny tiny little spacing around the I'm going to glue this on there, which is pretty much going to create a pocket. On the front. Glue across the top here. And put a small piece of lace there, just sort of create that decorative edging, to sort of, you know, have it show a little bit more. Let me line it up here. Have the other half of that card. So I'm going to take it and fold it in half, because it has the lines on it. I'm going to fold it in half. Okay. Easy, right? Okay. Now I'm going to ink around the edges, because everything looks better inked. Fold it in half. I always ink the middle lines too. That's just maybe my weirdness, but that's just something I do. It's about time to replace my sponge. It's starting to sort of break off in little pieces everywhere. I don't like when it does that. Okay. Then I'm going to trim a small piece of my ribbon that I have. And I'm going to figure out, I want it to go this way, and this way. So I'm just going to loop my little ribbon over in the corner just to give it a sort of little pull tab. This is a Tim Holtz Ideology Tiny Attacher. If you do not have one, they are wonderful. It's one of those things that I like, for especially for tags and like this little type stuff. You know, it just makes it so much easier. Okay, so I have that, and I can put that in my little pocket. So there I have a little journaling spot I can pull out on front of my postcard, and I have the postcard on the back. So, you know, you're sort of doubling your... So, there's another idea. So, let me Did we put the stamp on that one? Yes, we did. So, and I still have 3 stamps left over. So, you know, I can use those in the corner for embellishments, or, you know, I could even, I don't want to use that one because it's the way it is. Yeah, I don't want to use any of these because they're so perfect. I actually could fold this over in half and staple. And that's a gorgeous tab, you know, and it's nice and bulky. So, I mean, you can use these, you know, and like this, I actually cut individual, you know, like I made sure I got the snake, I made sure I got the lemon, I made sure, you know, so there's a lot of randomness on here where you really can't get anything, which would be perfect, you know, to cut into larger squares, maybe even a little bit longer than this. And, you know, do the same exact thing for the postage stamp, fold it over and make your tabs for your book out of it. And we may do that. We may do that. We may do that. We create our tabs of that. So, let me sort of clean this up a little bit so we can lay out our postcards here so you can see them. And I hope you've enjoyed this. I know sometimes I don't think people really think about making their own postcards. So, I'm going to put my little stamps up here where I can save them. And there's all my scraps over here that I had set out to use. Okay, so we've got this cute little one with the butterfly. We've got this one. I'll turn it over so we can see the frog back. You have this one, just sort of plain, but it's a different one. There's that one. And this one. So, I mean, you know, we made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 postcards. And I mean, every one of them is different, but they're all sort of similar, using basic materials that we got when we got our kit. So, every one of these you could use if you bought like a digital kit, or even with book pages. So, you know, this is something you don't have to have a digital kit for, but if you have one, you can use it too. So, you know, it works really great. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this today. I hope you have a great day. We will see you next time for the next video. We're going to start, you know, adding a lot of little charms and dangles for the edge of the book. We're going to make just a lot of little bits and bobs that we're going to be adding. I'm pretty much, you know, getting into finalizing all the little, you know, deck it out type things. So I hope you guys have a great day. We'll see you again back here again next time. Again, remember to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. You know, all of the information is in the description box below. Again, leave a comment if you know, if you're enjoying it, if you like the postcards, if you know you want more tutorials like that, or you know, what do you want? Let me know. So you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye.